1 week out. Done all your Christmas shopping?
No.
No?
Not yet. No, unfortunately, no.
Because you normally do. You're normally pretty organised in that space.
My wife is, not me.
Yeah. Well, we've got 1 week till Christmas. It's our Christmas wrap up. We were thinking about what we were going to share with everybody, and then we got the strong message from the rest of the business. Just give the people what they want. They want to know what's going to happen with interest rates next year, what's going to happen with property prices, and how do people make 2024 a successful one for themselves in the property market. So exactly. Let's start with interest rates. You can have interest rates. Do you want to give the people your view and your take on interest rates?
Everyone has an opinion. It's a bit of a national sport in the country to have an opinion on what's going to happen with interest rates. But we think back and understand what's happened. So the RBA significantly increased rates probably over the last 18 months to 2 years, purely to get a hold of inflation. Although the inflation figure is coming down, it's still nowhere near the target. So our view is that they'll probably remain steady for the first half of next year. I know there's some commentary and there's some hope that they may come down, but until the cash rate has had the impact of being able to get the inflation figure between the level and the range that they want, we believe that it'll remain steady. It's having the desired effect. It is coming down, which is good. So we believe the variable rate will remain steady for the first half of next year.
But yeah, I tend to agree. I think we'll see where we are now. We're going to be very similar. And so for people out there, in terms of working through affordability in all aspects of their life, you need to be able to make it work at the moment because this is where it's going to sit for a while.
100%.
Yeah.
The second biggest question we get, what's going on with the property market? And there's a broader question you cannot get in the industry, but what are your view?
I keep coming back to supply and demand, right? Supply and demand is going to dictate where prices go. We've seen a recovery at a time when most experts didn't think that the property market would increase, given that interest rates were going up and people sitting there saying, hey, affordability is going to make it hard for the property markets to increase. But we have seen, obviously, a number of states continue to grow, and we've seen the primary states, Sydney and Melbourne. When I say primary, the ones that had the primary reductions, they've started their recovery, or I should say, continued their recovery to a point where most of the reductions have been brought back. I look at supply and I go, right, so what's going to drive supply up or down? If supply is going up, right, that will have an impact on keeping property prices subdued. I can't see any factors that increase supply of property in general across the country. So therefore, I think then I flip over to the demand side and go, right, well, is demand going to be up or is demand going to be down? I think it's going to be, you look at that first home buyer market, you look at overseas migration, everyone's talking about that. The numbers coming in are still stronger than the number of properties or new properties being built. So you look at that market and you go, I think that market, first home buyer and second home buyer market will remain relatively strong. I think interest rates are pretty much at their peak, at their close. So it's not like affordability is going to be something that's going to stop people from looking for properties. That said, the assessment rates that we've got for lending continue to make it very hard for people to restructure and refinance, and also for a lot of people to be able to go out and buy. Even if in real terms they feel they can afford it, those assessment rates sitting 3% above what people actually have to pay is making it harder for people to transact. So if those assessment rates start to come back, making borrowing capacity a little bit easier, that might drive demand up. But in summary, I think there's more factors that will have demand sitting steady or increased, and we'll see property prices remain steady or going up than seeing any significant drops away. So we talk about 3 steps, we talk about 3 factors, basically that we see it every year. People that are successful in managing their finances or successful in making money through the property market, they do pretty similar things each and every year. So do you want to step the people through what we see and what those 3 keys are?
So the first one is they have a really, really clear purpose on what they want to do, whether it's to invest or buy. They know why they want to do it, and they know what that goal wants enables them to achieve. So when you've got a really clear purpose, it motivates you to continue to act. There's a lot of time over this period, particularly earlier in the year and the holiday period, where people have time to think, they have time to plan, they have time to dream. It's the ones that come back from that holiday break and book in a time to understand what they can actually do, that are the ones that are always successful every year. And we have a number of clients that do the same thing every year. Whether they can do something or not really depends on what the numbers are. but they come back every year and say, look, this is what I'm thinking about doing, what can I do? And almost like clockwork, in the last 2 weeks of January, that first week of Feb, you get the same phone calls from the same people saying, let's sit down and have a chat and see what's possible, because the market continues to change and they want to understand where they're positioned within that market to take action. It's a similar thing every year.
What's the second one?
Number two is they want to understand their numbers. So the reason most people don't act is either one of fear of making a mistake or a fear of making the wrong decision. And that ultimately comes down to the numbers. What do the numbers say? Unfortunately, there's a number of people within our industry that are conditioned to going into a bank and finding out what is the maximum amount I can borrow. And that number can be an overwhelming number that just has people just staring their headlights and go, I don't think that's possible. That's just too big a number for me to deal with. We think about it simply a little different in that let's understand what you believe you can afford in mortgage repayments and work our way backwards from there. And once you understand what you can comfortably afford, and then you set a purchase price around that, whether it's to invest or whether it's to upgrade your home, everything becomes a little clearer, and that you know that this is within your comfort level and you can do this, irrespective of what's going on with interest rates or the property market. If you understand what your own personal borrowing capacity is, and then alleviating all the fears associated with can I afford it or not, makes it so much easier to act.
Yeah, and it's about real conversations, like as you said before. Forget about what the calculators say. What can you actually do? Sometimes you can do more than what you think you can do, and sometimes you can do less than what you think you can 100%. Do. But grounded in actual fact, as opposed to just what a calculator will turn around and say. And then when you sit there, and as you mentioned, understand what your worst case scenario is. When people understand what their worst case scenario is, they can move forward with confidence and feel empowered that they're making the right decision. Third one.
They get a competitive advantage. So it's all well and good sitting down and understanding what you want to do, understanding your numbers, but the people that take action will get a pre-approval to give them that competitive advantage, whether it's purchasing at auction or putting an unconditional offer. Enables them to get ahead of the game, to do that knowing they can put that offer in without having a finance clause. It's really, really important. It gives you a competitive advantage because your offer will be more looked at more favourably in the market if it doesn't have a finance clause, particularly in the current conditions. And more importantly, it allows you to purchase free of the knowledge that you can do it comfortably. The second step is, a lot of people are unbelievably time poor. Getting a pre-approval is the easy thing. Over the course of this year, we had probably 60 to 70 clients that sought pre-approval that did not act because things got in the way. Life got busy. They didn't have time. They got sick of dealing with real estate agents, which is a common thing that we get. And one of the goals we're here is to try and close that gap between getting the pre-approval and acting. And if you identify yourself as one of those people, have a chat to us. We can put you in touch with people that can make that property purchase probably close or realistic, or actually solve that problem around having time. Yep.
All right, so as we wrap up 2023 and look forward to 2024, our thank yous again. Firstly, our thank yous to our team. This year has been, it's been a really interesting one, a rewarding one, a challenging one, all in all, for a number of reasons. But I think we spoke to our clients and had more conversations with our clients and potential clients than in any year previously. The current lending environment has meant that we did do less business than what we've done previously with those guys and girls. But ultimately, 2024 promises to be one of a lot more action because of the work that the whole team has done in ensuring that our client base is in a really strong position to achieve what they want to achieve. So firstly, a thank you to our team. Secondly, a thank you to you for your support with our business. We're forever grateful for the fact that our business has continued to grow year on year in a number of different ways. And that wouldn't be possible, obviously, without the support of our long-term and long-standing clients. And what else? Partners, business partners, and you, mate. Thanks for this year. Your support has been significant. You brought levity. You shaved your beard, was a highlight of the year, I think, and I don't think that can be understated.
Let's come back.
And thank you to your mate for having a grey beard than I have. Merry Christmas, guys.
Happy New Year.